1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure. I want to say thank you all to everybody who's already here. Like, this is an amazing turnout, so I wanted to say, just starting off, you guys are rad. Also, in all further other announcements, which are also crazy and weird to me, is that we hit over 500 downloads on our audio cast this week. Like 500 listens / downloads. We were at 330 last Monday, so 170 people just decided to give us a listen, which is great. Please give us a listen. Our dulcet tones desire to be in your ears more than just Monday and a Tuesday. So, thank you to everybody who has already been supporting us that way, who is coming out to support us during the show. Seriously, this is incredible, and I wanted to say thank you. So we are now just gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this wonderful adventure. Unless anybody has any announcements other than myself, Danae, and RJustice are all going to be at PAX Unplugged this year. So if you are also at PAX Unplugged, let's coordinate and we can be Buckaroo best friends. It'll be a great time. So now, again, rolling it in, as we left off last week, Gwen, you had been digging through our dear friend Blake's gear and found yourself 2 personal letters that Blake had written himself that he had never gotten a chance to send out and was possibly never going to send out. But that is a conversation that the 2 of you can have if you so desire. Other than that, our party had talked to a young tiefling boy named Parnell. And Parnell was he does not have a tail as a tiefling. He is gray skinned, white-eyed. He has tiny little horns on top of his head that he described as his nibbly bits. And he also has 6 fingers on each hand and has offered all of you 15 gold pieces upon the start of an escort, and then an additional 35 per person once you actually reach the destination of your trip. So, having all agreed that this is what you wanted, while Gwen continued her sleeps, you all then made your way back down to the Zesty Anchor, where you could hear thunder rolling in from the east, as you could kind of just see this heavy rainfall kind of coming in towards you. But that is where we are going to pick off. So Blake, Cori, and Caelum, you guys are now entering into the Zesty Anchor, and you can see that it is quieted down for the most part. Then the Red Dragonborn, who enjoys a good drinking contest, has left. As swift as the 10 winds, the Tabaxi Night Manager has come to kind of take over Fang's place for the evening. And it is now getting closer to about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. As it took you guys several hours to go from the highest point of Shroudport back down to the Squeeze, where Fang has his establishment. So what would the 3 of you like to do? And also, I guess, Gwen, make a perception roll.
I hit the wrong button. I hit the button on the Twitch and not on the stream thing. +2, I 16.
Okay, so with your 16, you actually hear your friends coming into the bottom of the bar from where you are, while you are still in Blake's room, having just kind of finished up with the letter that you were reading.
Cool. I'm going to stuff it back in his bag as neatly as Gwen would. And I'm going to continue to play with the stuffed animals on his bed. Okay.
Sounds good. So the 3 of you, the other 3, are currently walking into the Zesty Anchor now, and that is the current scene. So what would you 3 like to do?
Do I spy my old gang?
No, they are currently no longer at Fang's. They seem to have left pretty shortly after you guys had left, actually.
We don't see Gwen in this area.
No, you guys do not see Gwen.
Well, hopefully she's still asleep.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
She did spend like 48 hours awake, question mark.
And you can see that that Swift is currently just cleaning a glass at the front of the house, and he's serving up some bars, and he's doing it, as his namesake would imply, extremely swiftly, making sure that he can always get the proper slide on a drink as it goes across the bar and perfectly comes in front of a customer who then just starts drinking it, talking to their friend, without even making eye contact. They just have to set their hand down, and Swift seems to be able to navigate the beverages that he's slinging on the table with extreme accuracy.
I'm gonna flag him down and ask him for, "Hi, Swift, can I get some meat? Whatever Gwen gets?"
Well, she already ordered a plate of meat earlier, Nya. But I'm sure that if she's worked up an appetite as your friend typically does, she'll probably be looking for seconds, Nya.
Okay. I'll take a second plate.
All right. Since this is your last night, this is still going on Fang's tab, Nya. And he just slides into the back of the bar, and he's going to be about 10 minutes to collect all of the proper foodstuffs. All the right vittles.
If my alignment was chaotic asshole, I would be running that tab up.
Speaking of which, can I find Mirth? Is she around tonight?
Yeah. You look around and make a perception check.
Oh boy. 7, I believe. If I have my perception right. Yep, 7.
Okay, so with your 7, you look around and you can see that in the space where she normally keeps a coat when it gets rainy or anything like that, like she kind of has like a little work cubby off to the side. You don't actually see anything in it, like she seems to have left.
Ah, rats. We're pretty sure we're gonna leave in the morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for Swift as the 10 Winds to get back and talk to him.
Okay. Yeah, and it takes him, it's about 5-10 minutes, and then he comes back out to you guys with a plate of meat, and he just starts looking around, and you can see that it has a variety of sausages on it. There are some potatoes, kind of like, they're more of decoration at this point based on Gwen's previous eating habits that Swift has noticed, so he's included them more as a formality, or if anybody would like to also pluck food off of Gwen's plate. But he just kind of sets it in front of you and says, "Well, your friend's upstairs if you'd like to give their food to them, yeah."
Yeah. I mean, we should probably fill her in on our job.
Oh, you have a job, yeah. That's fantastic. I'm curious as to who would hire the lot of you, Nya.
You make it sound like we're unhireable.
Not unhireable, more just green, yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I'll take the plate and start walking off.
Okay. So yeah, you have taken the plate of food and you are currently heading upstairs. And as you begin to pick up the plate and walk off, Swift looks at the two of you. "Can I help either of you with anything, yeah?"
Actually, Coriander is going to pull a bag of coin out of her bag and hand it to him. I know it's not enough to pay for everything that we've, for as long as we've been here, and I also know that Fang won't accept it. So I was hoping that you'd hold on to it and give it to him after we've left.
Think of it as Fang paying a down deposit, Nya. He will have set his goal. You will have paid for him to essentially board the lot of you, and if he then doesn't end up having to break that security deposit through broken furniture, a shattered window by chance, then we can simply just collect that as a return on investment, yeah.
Whatever works.
Is he accepting the money or not?
He is. He's but
Oh,
he's more
okay.
wording it as like, you have given this gift to Fang, and then we have all agreed that Fang is putting this money somewhere else. And, like, all just, like, all on the same level here. So, yeah, he accepts your money. And is there anything else I can get you, Nya?
I think that's it for me. We should probably go check on Gwen.
Yeah, we'll probably be back for dinner, though.
Okay. So, he just sort of, he tells you, well, if there's anything else that you need, just let me know, Nya. And then that is when we're going to go back to Blake, who is currently at the top of the stairs with a plate of food. And you can see that the door to Gwen's room is wide open.
All right, I'm gonna like knock on the door as I peer in.
Yeah, and you don't see her in there at all.
Gwen? Gwen?
Seemed like a giggle.
Yeah, you
Coming
hear
from my room?
Yeah, you hear a giggle coming from your room.
All right, I'll open the door.
Okay, and you see sitting on your bed, Gwen has your stuffed animal werewolf and your stuffed animal owlbear that are sort of just like playing with each other. And you can see behind her there's a kind of like a little bit of a crinkled note. It looks like a letter that has a green embossment on the front, like sealing wax that is keeping it shut. And your bag has been flipped open. And you can just see kind of like sorted through.
Ah, I am the greater creature. Ah, no, I am. Ah.
Hey. I brought food, and we also did a job.
Oh. Where?
Well, we were hired by a tiefling who's heading north, paying pretty damn good.
Sweet. Do we have to get supplies?
Nope, I think we've all got them. One of us did get rations for Gwen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have
Okay.
purchased rations for the group.
Okay.
Oh. I mean, I already had rations, but that's cool. Did everyone get like winter gear if we're heading north?
Yeah, we got some cloaks as well.
Right, cool. All right, cool. And I like jump off the bed and walk past him and smack his ass. Well, I like jump and smack his ass as I walk back to my room.
Okay, are you just like taking his stuffed animals with you?
No, I throw
Okay.
them.
All right.
And
So,
I
yeah.
grab the plate as I go.
Yeah, so your stuffed animals just kind of land back onto your bed, and they fall actually pretty near the envelope that seems to have been set up on your pillow. And Gwen is just kind of walking back into her room, or the downstairs area if you would like, with your plate of food.
No, I'll just eat in my room.
All right, so yeah, you are heading back into your room, and that is when Caelum, you and Cori walk up the stairs, and you just see Gwen with a plate of food coming from Blake's room going into her room.
Oh.
Sup, bitches?
I'm gonna reach into whatever pack we have that has the winter cloaks, and I'll pull out like the Gwen-sized one.
Thanks, dude. I mean, this isn't really my color, but I think it's okay.
But you wear browns.
I'm joking.
Oh. I'm sorry.
Come
I don't
on, lighten
Okay.
up. And I punch him in the calf. What's up, Cori?
Oh.
Are we like leaving first thing in the morning, or like what's the plan?
I believe so. We're going to meet Parnell? Parnell, sorry. We're going to meet Parnell in the morning and head out from there.
Cool. Does he seem like an upright dude, or?
He seems all right to me. Actually, Caelum was the one who made the deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
15 gold per day, and then 35 when we get there. Total of 50.
Nice.
Or no, 15 gold per head. That's what it is. 15 gold
Oh.
per day would be really sweet.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, you guys have never traveled. Like, I mean, you traveled here, right? So you've been on the road before.
Mhm.
Seen all about like the dangers of the road and the world.
Oh, do tell.
I've read about like this thing where your body kind of goes bleh. It's like dysentery. It's killed a lot of people on this trail.
Dude,
Oh.
I'm talking about like wild creatures, burglars, pirates, all that shit.
Oh, that sounds like a regular day in the wild, actually.
But what about the real dangers of dysentery?
I mean, as long as we drink a bunch of orange juice or whatever, we should be fine, right?
That's scurvy.
My God, protect
It's
me
like
from
road
this.
scurvy, right?
It's not how that works, Gwen.
Is there anything else we need before we go?
Road scurvy.
Just a good night's rest, Gwen.
All right. Caleb, you're not gonna like run off again, are you?
No,
I'm
I'm-
gonna insight check him.
I'm fine now. I'm better now. I've calmed down.
That's a 3. That's a 3.
He's lying. He's totally running away tonight.
Ah!
If there ever was a time to run away, now is the time.
Yeah, right.
He's planning
Alright,
on
cool.
doing it when you least expect.
If you do, you know I'll find you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blake is very good at tracking Faye.
That's true. Are you Faye?
No, I'm Caelum.
Solid. Are we done for the night, or are we gonna drink our minds out before we go?
Never drink before travel, is what I read. Especially extended wagon rides with, like, Delta Ground.
All right.
Life's a fucking nightmare.
Is your friend downstairs?
No, I think he's staying with his wagon and...
No.
Cat.
No. Your friend, the dwarf dude.
Oh, no, they're gone.
Okay. I'm gonna go eat downstairs if anyone else is hungry.
Okay.
Okay.
Blake, we're gonna have dinner.
Have a ball this
One
fall getting your
second.
property in shape with a new John Deere compact
What
tractor.
the hell?
It's your
Oh.
What?
Oh, Wings' video had an ad at the front of it, so audio podcast listeners, prepare for half a John Deere ad.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored by John Deere, but could be.
Wait, John
I
Deere
was-
as in, like, the
I was
tractor?
gonna
Yes.
stealthily put it up.
We're keys to venturing party. We run like a deer.
Yes.
I had to change my password at some point, and so it changed my stream key. So I was very quietly, getting my stream key into my streaming software, and hashtag not sponsored.
But could be. Yeah, so yeah, you guys are you're planning on going downstairs to eat all your yummy food, and then Cori and Caelum, are you joining downstairs?
Yeah. Well, that's where I rest all the time, so I might as well.
That's true. You have not once used your room since you got it. It's basically like you don't have a key. So yeah, you the two of you guys start heading downstairs with Gwen. Blake, what are you currently doing?
There's a letter on my bed.
There is. I will send that to you over Discord right now, because I have that prepared. So you can read that while we join our friends. Oh, screwed that up. That's fine.
What?
I've made it full screen on my thing because I'm really good at this. Really good at this
Hey.
whole thing.
Oh man.
I'm
I
so
saw that.
yay. So yeah, I have given you your letter. So the other three of you guys, you go downstairs, and you are now just kind of like watching Gwen eat food. What would you guys like to be doing while you're downstairs?
You're
Oh,
muted.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Damn it! I did the LB thing today. Probably just chatting.
Yeah, most likely.
Cool.
Say, and then not chat.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you guys do? You kind of just left. And, you know, I came down here and you guys were all gone for a long time.
Listen.
Well,
Shroudport is really hilly, and it was a bad idea to wear armor, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember someone saying, wear your armor all the time.
I mean, also, yes, but you got to get strong enough so that it doesn't matter.
that is fair.
I just need to do cardio, I guess.
Never skip leg day, Caelum.
The
Never
words of
skip leg
Farron
day.
echoing in my head.
Every day is leg day. And
Never
Shroudport.
skip leg day. So yeah, you guys are currently just enjoying your food, talking amongst themselves, and then Swift as the Ten Winds comes up and asks if you guys would like any drinks, if you would like any more food, and if anybody would like any more, then he'll just make sure to come out and bring it to you in a timely fashion. Blake, are you coming back downstairs or are you staying upstairs?
I'm coming back down.
Okay, sounds good.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like he had a good read.
It was a good letter. So yeah, Blake, you go downstairs and you can see your three friends kind of all chuckling to themselves about how Caelum needs to work on his cardio more, and Swift is kind of leaving after depositing a few drinks with them.
Well, Blake is definitely on brand. Looking like a sad boy.
Oh.
Oh no! Is it immediately apparent to Coriander that he's sad?
Uh,
You can roll an
Dragonborn
insight
faces
check.
are kind of hard to read.
That's true.
This is more about the
He said I
body
can roll
language.
a
Insight check
What
if
can
you'd
I
like to see
insight for this.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's not the dice.
Or
Sorry.
sad boy check.
Sad boy check. Here we go. 17 plus. Am I even trained in insight?
Oh, he is sad boy.
His
No,
body
that's
language,
17.
like his shoulders are just kind of slumped down a little bit. He seems very withdrawn. Like you have not, like even when he was drunk walking through the streets when you guys found him last night, he did not even look nearly as like sad. He kind of has like this 1,000-yard stare coming through his glowing yellow eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Coriander will notice that and then kind of ponder to herself for a moment. Then she'll just jump up and be like, "Oh, Blake, it's good to see you." And then she'll just run across the room and give him a great big hug.
He does not return it.
And while she's hugging him, she's going to be like, "Are you all right?"
No, I think all of us need to talk.
Okay. All right. Do you want to talk here? Or should we go upstairs?
Upstairs. What?
Okay. All right.
Let's go upstairs.
Yeah, go on upstairs. We'll meet you there, okay?
And he'll go.
Okay.
Just kind of like pat him on the shoulder and just be like, "All right, big guy, we'll see you in a second." And then she'll turn around and come back to the rest of the group and be all like, "We've got to go upstairs right now."
Why?
Blake's having a hard time. We need to talk to him.
Why?
Because we're a group. That's what we do.
No. Why is he having a hard time?
Good question. Let's find out.
Oh, shit.
Luckily,
All
Swift
right.
has just refilled your guys' drinks.
Take it with me. Grab an extra shot for Blake.
Water.
Heading upstairs.
All right, so yeah, you guys go upstairs, and Blake, are you in your room? Did you go to somebody else's room?
I am redoing my sigils.
Okay.
Oh no.
Look, I'm sorry. I went through your stuff. I was bored. There's really not too much that's interesting that you own.
Yeah, there really isn't anything that I'm worried about.
Oh.
In my bag, it's here, and I'll pass around the letter, which says.
Can I also make a check on the sigils that he's drawing?
Yeah. I can read the letter in Makoth's voice, or you can read it as Blake.
Ooh, do it.
Go,
All
please
right.
give us the Makoth voice.
Okay, so, Blake, I've started this letter over 100 times in my head since last night, and I can't say this any other way. I'm sorry. Every step I took, I did with the understanding that what I was doing was for your benefit. I thought that maybe, just this once, I could do something to right my own wrongs by preventing you from falling in line with something horrible. But it seems like that wasn't the case, and most likely never will be the case. There is no apology that I can give you now that can undo your pact, so instead I come with an offering. After you left, I still had the half-devoured corpse of an angel in my basement, and, well, when life gives you lemons. Inside this letter, you will find a necklace. On the knuckle bones, I have inscribed runes of protection, and the feathers themselves will act as wards against any fiend that would attempt to overtake you as your patron did. If you have any questions or just need to talk, you know where to find me. M.
So you did kill an angel?
I don't know.
Make a history check. This is going to be with advantage.
With advantage?
With advantage, because now you got a letter and also a
Can
piece.
I make a religion check on the necklace, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Also, for the sigils, I rolled a natural 20. But for the necklace, it's
16 for history. But yeah.
All of this is coming back to you very quickly. Like the being inside of this circle, having this necklace that you can either wear as a necklace or wrap around and keep on your wrist. But it just is a long string that has several beads on it, and in between these beads are what look to be knuckle bones, and on these knuckle bones have different inscriptions that are carved onto them. But then there are 3 feathers that are coming down. And these feathers are just this glorious, vibrant golden color that you have not seen anywhere. Caelum, the closest that you've ever seen to something of this color would be on the side of very, very nice books that made sure to have that golden trim around the text itself. But you've never seen anything like this since leaving the temple, and even then the books that had that binding were very old, very ancient, and didn't shine nearly as brightly as the color that is on these. And you would know, Caelum, that based on the stories that you've read, and based on pictures and depictions that you've also received, that these are angel feathers.
these. Wow. Okay. Blake, did you kill an angel?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
What?
Why don't you start from like the beginning and then we'll get there?
So I had mentioned to some of you that my order that we sometimes make pacts with powers to enhance our abilities and stuff. And at one point I was going to ask Cori to help me find like an archfey or someone who could help me, but after we dealt with that meanlock, or whatever it was, I don't know what a meanlock is.
You
You
decided
actually-
against it.
Yeah, I didn't want to get involved with any powers that I had no business dealing with, and that was it. I was just going to find some other factions of my order to like see if I could do something else. But I was just drinking with Vin, sorry. And McCarth sent for me. She offered me a way to find a patron who would be beneficial, a celestial, an angel. And whenever it appeared, something else showed up, killed it. And forced me to accept it. And I think I got very drunk after that.
Are you a sorcerer?
No.
All right. Do we need to go kill this thing? Because I'm 100% okay with that.
It killed an archangel in
Hey.
front of me.
That's
know-
it.
I mean, there are ways. You ask me, and I'll go get my whole goddamn tribe, and we can take on this goddamn thing right now. Well, however long it takes us to get to the far north.
I can do some research with the books I have on hand, if it helps.
All right.
Can I examine the amulet?
Yeah.
I'll hand it over.
What are you looking for in particular?
I want to see if I think that it's going to help him withstand the influence of his patron.
Make an Arcana check.
I'm specifically looking for assist. You want
Can
to
I
assist?
Yeah, you can try to assist this as well.
I would love that assistance. I don't think intelligence is my highest stat. But yes, I'm specifically looking for whether or not this is going to help preserve his free will. Oh, that's a nat 20.
All right.
Hey!
Yes.
So based on the description that you were given from the letter, as well as just kind of a base look over the sigildry that has been etched into these knuckle bones, that you believe that when the power comes from a fiend, specifically a fiend, and tries to overtake Blake in the way that he kind of described his pact being forced onto him, that this will actually provide a buffer against that. But it still is hedge magic. This has not been this is not an officially sanctioned WotC item. This is not something that has like Lathander's stamp of approval onto the side of it. This is very much a, hey, I had some stuff lying around and I'm pretty sure this can help, as you are fairly certain that Makoth does with most all things.
All right. Coriander's going to examine that, and then she's going to put it around Blake's neck and just kind of pat it there.
It's a little difficult
you're not
because of the
lonely.
horns, but you do manage
gotta-
to.
Maneuver.
You tie it around the back, as it has a little loop on one end, and then just a little T that you can hook into the loop so it will stay.
Right. Blake, you're not alone in this.
Right. Right. Thank you.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll kind of pat him reassuringly and give him a smile. Though it seems like there's something behind it. Like she's not entirely sure of herself whether or not she'd be able to help him. And then she's going to leave the room.
Okay.
Blake, before we go for the night, do you have a name for this thing, or
What thing?
you know, the thing that tried to your patron thing? The demon who slayed the angel?
Did I see the form of my patron?
Oh, he got very, very up close and personal with you. You saw your own you saw your own face as a large ancient black dragon staring back at you.
No, I don't have a name. But it looked like me, but more. It was a big fucking dragon.
More fangy, bigger?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Cori's right, Blake. You're not alone. We'll figure it out. I'll pat his arm. Then leave.
Okay. So our two elves have currently left, so now standing alone in Blake's room is currently Blake and Gwen.
Like, I'm not gonna pretend to understand what's going on. I don't understand anything of what's going on. I just know that you might be in trouble, and I mean it. Whatever you need, dude.
Actually, that is something that I wanted to ask you about. Are you
Okay.
are you in trouble?
Oh, no. Actually, I'm kind of in the opposite of trouble, so we can talk about that later. All right. In my tribe, the Goliath tribe, sometimes ancestors will pick a Goliath to bring their spirit into to protect.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
a Goliath spirit, his name is Grayskull. He chose
That's
me.
a fucking cool name.
I know. He chose me, and so he is. I mean, he's not like inside me, but he can like pass through the spirit world into our world through me. If that makes sense.
Is it? It's not like possession.
No.
He's not using you.
No. I'm using him actually, not in a bad way, in like a symbiotic way.
Okay. If it becomes an issue,
Yeah.
if at any point that you feel threatened by it, we can. That is part of my specialty.
Oh really?
Well, yeah, I have experience with undead.
Really?
Yeah, more so than fiends or black dragons or fae,
Right.
but
Right.
undead I can deal with. So
Cool. Yeah.
but
No.
I'm glad that this is a non-issue.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Totally cool. Do you want like a slumber buddy tonight? I don't take up that much room.
Yeah, I think that would help actually.
Cool. Let me go get my PJs.
Okay.
And I scoot out.
Oh, Caelum is waiting for Gwen at his door.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Hey, so yeah. Just want to say, thanks for coming to get me. And he like walks into his room and closes the door.
I thought I was the awkward one. You're welcome.
You had thought.
And I go get my pajamas.
Yeah, so you get your jammies and come back to Blake's room. And you guys have a mild slumber party. Unless, Blake, you had any more questions or anything else.
Yeah, I'm taking everything off except for my pants.
Okay.
Is there like a mirror in my room or anything that would give me a glance at something?
There is not a mirror in your room. Fang does
Great.
not. Fang did not spring for that in the Ins Plus package. But you look down and you can see that from that where you had that kind of like pulsing burning sensation the night that you were last night when you were walking back from Makoth's, you look down and you can see that there is just that kind of malformed patch of scales that rests above your heart that seems to cut off the draconic phrase that's on your chest. But you can actually see that it's starting to spread a little bit. Like these, like the malformed scales are hardening and are actually starting to cover more of your chest, just a little bit.
So the phrase is disappearing?
No, the phrase is still there, but it seems to just kind of be growing up onto these new scales as it comes up.
That seems like a level 4 thing. Okay.
Yeah. So. You guys, Gwen, you return, and Blake is currently all but pantsless in his room, getting ready for bed. Caelum, yes, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I just meant sleep, dude. Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on down there. I had a weird conversation with that other Dragonborn guy. I'm not ready to go down that road yet.
What?
Just so you know.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. And I like get at the edge of the bed and I like make it into a floof pile because I brought my blankets from my bed too, so I could be like a cocoon.
Alrighty.
Just don't kick me, okay?
All
right. So yeah, you guys are heading off to bed. Caelum, are you going to sleep or are you meditating?
For the first 2 hours, he's gonna be leafing through whatever holy texts he has about black dragon fiend demons, if he could find it.
Make an investigation check while flipping through, because you have a few books on you.
Investigation, I'm not trained in, but it's pretty 4.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time just flipping through these books, and you don't find anything about demon dragons or anything like that. But you do find kind of tucked away in the back of a history book that kind of refreshes your mind a little bit. But you remember Farron saying that dragons hadn't been around in this on this continent, at least, besides the copper dragon who lives on the island for roughly the last 1,500 years or so.
Huh. Maybe some of the books back at the temple. I'll sleep on it. Closes the book, puts it back in his bag, undresses, gets into bed, and pulls the covers over himself.
Okay. Sounds good. So you are going sleepy time?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we have, to all you new listeners, we have an elf who sleeps. It's crazy, right? But first we will go to Cori. Cori, what are you doing on the bottom floor of the Zesty Anchor? And it seems like by the time you've gotten done talking with Blake and are kind of getting ready for the evening, that a lot of the crowd has left, and it seems to be one or two of the usuals that are there, but they all seem pretty incoherent at this point.
Well, that's good. Cori will go to her usual spot and get out her ukulele and try to clink out something that she remembers from her childhood.
Okay.
You know, she's just trying to refamiliarize herself with the instrument, but there's a chilly draft in the tavern that night.
Okay, sounds good. Make a performance check. And as you start to play, and there is just kind of that chilly overall feeling, you can actually hear the rain starting to come down outside as well, as the thunder seems to have brought that in.
Let's see, that's going to be a 9.
All right. So with your 9, you are more just, again, like you said, familiarizing yourself with the instrument itself.
Sorry, never mind. I have a proficiency in the ukulele. It's a 11.
Aha! All right. So with your 11, you are currently plucking along, and you do end up kind of remembering one song, or at least the tune of one that you had from when you were a kid. It's not the song that you know that you've lost, but it is still the song. It's still a song that does kind of fill you with happy memories, and in a way, it still kind of reminds you of your meditation last night, just kind of being able to feed ducks with Coralon, and that feeling of that nostalgic bread that you were eating on kind of filled you with that sense of being a kid again. And so this is more trying to tap into more of a simpler time, especially with the hardship that your party member seems to have been met with over the last several days.
Yeah. She'll repeat her tenets to herself.
Okay.
No second N in tenants.
Nope. These are not people that rent from you, but rather the ideology that you hold dear.
Tennis.
Tennis. And Caelum, you get ready to go to sleep again, and as you kind of drift into your slumber, you find yourself falling once more through this blackness. But as you find your center of gravity once more, you are not actually met with these small sections of pillows or with the book with the raven feather that you typically are familiar with seeing during your weird slumbering dreams. But instead you see what appears to be a large statue. And it looks like the statue of a man with an elongated face, bald hair, and his hands are up to his mouth in contemplation. And this posture just sort of seems to be looking forward. But you can see that where typically statues have carved clothing as well, this figure that is in this contemplative state is actually wearing robes that are similar to the robes that you have seen others wear. But this creature stands a good 20-30 feet tall.
And it's like a statue?
Yeah, it looks like a stone statue that just has his hands out in a contemplative stance. And you can see that there at his feet is a replica of a book that you are used to seeing at this point, but it is much larger. Like it is scaled up for something of this thing's size.
Okay, these are just getting weirder every night. He's gonna walk up to the book and put a hand on it.
Okay. And you just hear this, as that is the only sound other than your footsteps that kind of just goes out into nothing. As you aren't sure where, if any, sound would be able to actually reverberate back, and you don't hear an echo from putting your hand onto this book.
Brother Moonbow, are you here? Just looking around.
Yeah, you do not hear any response or footfalls.
I'll look straight up at the statue.
The statue's eyes look like they have been carved shut.
Can I tell what race it is, or?
Make a history check.
Wow, I'm rolling like shit tonight. It's a good thing my history's a +6. 14.
So you would have, based off of what you have seen from Gwen's ancestor as a Goliath, and then kind of reading and knowing more about the ancient cultures of the country of Illyra, you know that around the time that dragons disappeared, there were also giants that roamed this land. But after the dragons left, the giants kind of took it upon themselves to then head north into the Shard Mountains, where they could be left in peace and keep their conflict with these large winged creatures out of the general vicinity of smaller folk. And you would know, based off of descriptions that you've read, that this is a stone giant. Or what looks to be a stone giant that just sort of seems to be looking down in contemplation.
If I look down at the carved book, does it look like I can move the cover any?
Yeah. It does look like you can move and manipulate this book.
I'm gonna try to lift the cover up, see what's inside.
Okay. So as you make a strength check as you go to lift the front of this book open for this carved creature.
18.
So with your 18, you manage to end up getting the front page open, and when you do, the book actually opens up more than just the front page, as you can see that there was a ribbon that had been set inside of the book. And as you flip open the cover, pages just start to continue going with the book itself until it kind of spreads out about 2/3 of the way into the novel itself.
Okay, I didn't know I could get tired in a dream, but peers over and tries to read the pages.
And as you do, make a perception check.
I don't like this, Steven. Cocked. Damn it. Come here, you. 17.
Okay. So with your 17, you start hearing the sound of what you would assume to be rocks kind of scratching and moving against each other. And you just hear this as you see the hands that were above you in contemplation just separate, and the eyes that looked like they had been carved closed just sort of lazily open up as hands set down to the side. As this long head just comes down and looks at you. Hello.
Sorry, were you reading this?
I was thinking.
Oh. Hello.
Are you my reader?
Reader? Sure.
I have been trying to get through this book for years. Lost track.
Well, with the tongue where it is, it seems you've stopped at page. Is there like a page indication?
Yeah, and he looks down. 3,546.
Oh, 9 hells.
Almost to the good part.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Caelum.
I am Groon. He just extends a very large finger down.
Hello, Grun.
Hello.
Oh, okay. So,
You know how to read.
what language is this in?
A forgotten language. A language we use as cipher.
if it's a forgotten language, then probably no. Or I scan the page.
When you are still young, here, we can go over from the beginning, and I can teach you.
Okay.
And he just, you see one hand just come down and then removes the long fabric. And this fabric is just covered in what look to be different heraldry, almost like a lineage of some sort, as it kind of continues onward. And make a perception check, or make a history check as you see this ribbon kind of being brought up.
15.
And at that 15, you see that this length of cloth actually has what looks to be the last kings that existed in Illyra before they became free states. And so about 4 or 5 of these emblems up, that is when you see the symbol of that last king from the very bottom of the text itself.
Huh.
And then he just starts open the book. Have you read any
books?
He just taps the large book with his finger again.
I mean, I've read books. I've read tons of books, but nothing with this language on it.
I will teach you.
Oh.
Then you read to me.
Okay.
So make a intelligence check, and he is going to make a charisma check. And this is how we are going to start keeping track of the amount of language that you are currently learning.
A is for apple.
C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me.
Cookie starts with C. I'm making an intelligence check.
Yes.
Thank God. 20, not dirty.
Okay, and he got a 24 for teaching. So, put on a separate little marker, write 3 tally marks, or mark down 3 and out of question, as you are not currently sure how long this is going to take you to learn this. But it seems like this stone giant is actually a fairly good teacher, probably because he's had to teach this language many times before. But he is still able to convey that to you. And then you don't really get farther than where you were before, but you can start kind of picking up, you start recognizing certain brush strokes, you start recognizing certain symbols. So it's actually going to be a little bit easier for you to continue learning this language with somebody else's help, as he seemed to have actually pulled out a small little journal that looked similar to his and handed it to you for you to start keeping your own notes. I'll hang on to it for you.
Okay. Well, this is one of the better learning experiences I've had, so thank you.
To learn anything important, it must be a long time. I hope you are prepared.
Me too.
And then after you guys continue learning and just having these little side conversations, he eventually looks at you and kind of tilts his head and says, "It's time for you to be going now." And he just brings up a large hand and just starts to wave.
Wait, no, but I've almost learned this one. And
then that is when your vision kind of comes to as you hear in between all of this rain that seems to still be coming down in Shroudport, you actually hear what sound like seagulls kind of squawking and enjoying themselves in the early morning as you wake up once more inside of Fang's inn.
Caelum scrambles to his bag and pulls out like spare parchment, quill, ink, and he starts trying to remember the lettering he's learned and just scrawling them out on the parchment.
Okay, make a history check.
I should remember this by now. 19.
Okay. Yeah, so you managed to write down the first set of 7 symbols that you had learned.
He's like holding them up, tilting them to the side. Still don't know what this means. Okay. Furls it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna head downstairs.
Okay. And when you head downstairs, Cori has awoken from her trance, having spent the majority of the night kind of playing the ukulele and then actually getting some well-deserved sleep, where your dream was more... You were sort of just like playing your meditative dream was more just kind of going over the same tenant process that you had been to before, because normally when an elf meditates, they recollect on memories that they've had previously, and these seemed so foreign, so out of place, that it was a kind of an exhilarating experience to remember memories that you were sure that these are your own. These are not other people's. You have never, like, these are not other memories that other elves have lived. This was yours and yours alone.
On the second time through, she said she sounds a whole lot smarter. She's practiced this time.
Mm-hmm.
Aha!
You're just safe scumming it. You're like, no, I know that I can rescue everybody if I do this.
That's precisely it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, then Gwen and Blake, you guys wake up as well, and it's very early in the morning. It's raining pretty heavily, and you can hear the seagulls just shrieking outside, as seagulls are wont to do.
Did you sleep all right? Ah, you're muted now. Ha!
Full circle.
Full circle.
There we go. Yeah, it's great not sleeping in armor. I don't realize why I haven't done that before.
I mean, I think
You were kind of stuck.
I was.
You know I can sew, right?
Oh, I got it fixed yesterday. It's got buttons now.
Ooh, they're shiny.
Yeah, and you can see that there are these metal, small metal clasps that are now on the outside part of the horn. So that way, if Blake would like to tear his hood off, the clasps will actually just naturally come undone, and then when he pops it up, he can just clap the clasps back on.
Whoa. That's way better. Yeah, no, I can just like cut a hole in it, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd rather not
Right. No.
destroy this.
Yeah. Any dragon dreams?
No. I don't really dream that often.
Oh.
Or I don't remember anything. I
Right,
hear
right.
that everyone dreams, but
Yeah. I didn't dream either. Let's go get breakfast.
please.
So yeah, you guys leave your room, and then you come downstairs to see Caelum and Cori enjoying some coffee and a light morning breakfast.
Caelum, you're still here.
Yeah, I was joking last night.
I know. I was joking right now.
What?
No raven babies tonight?
No, there was a giant though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Giant stone giant. That sounds redundant. The big stone giant doesn't sound well that better. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I won't ever rest again because things just keep getting weirder.
What did he say?
He wanted me to read to him.
Do you know how to read, Giant?
It wasn't in giant. It was, I don't think so, at least. It was like weird, and I guess I have the parchment with me.
Yeah, because after you woke up, just dream journal scrawling.
Red rum, red rum, red rum.
Recognize the language?
You recognize not the entirety of it, but you can see that there are elements of giant kind of tucked away in these symbols. They don't seem to be like a prevalent thing. This doesn't seem like a very set it doesn't seem like a very traditional understanding of what language is or how it typically functions. Like this is more like a iconography kind of thing versus a traditional lettering pattern, which you're accustomed to seeing with giant.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Kept on
That's good.
singing something about C and it being for cookies.
No, this says balls.
Until it reads it over again.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh.
I can tell that it's giant. I just don't. It's not like a normal written giant language that I've seen, at least.
We're a really weird bunch.
Why?
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Don't you mean resent?
No.
Oh. Well. Yeah.
Speaking
Caelum
of,
just goes back, drinks coffee.
did we ever address the color change thing?
What do you mean?
Like, you changed color, right? You wore pink at one point, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, all the time.
No, you're orange all the time.
Oh. You know how there's 4 seasons?
Yeah?
I've got
Yeah.
4 seasons.
Oh. Like, is it like, and I kind of lean in, is it a lady thing?
No, all the other genders experience it too.
That's weird. So when is it like a time period that you change?
Most of the time. In the Feywild, the seasons are locations. So depending on your location, you might change. It's a little more pronounced in the Feywild.
Right.
My preferred season is autumn, which is why I'm in my autumn form most of the time. Fortunately...
What?
Oh, well, fortunately, it is autumn here. So, it's a little easier for me to maintain that form.
Is it like an aesthetic choice?
It can be. It can be a choice, but, sometimes the heart wants what it wants. Whether it's getting Twitter-pated or seething rage. Anyway.
All right.
You do
You
kind
sound
of
very
remember
scary
that
whenever you do
Cori.
that.
You kind of remembered Cori turning into her summer form when you guys had been paraded through the streets as pseudo criminals.
Mm-hmm. Gwen doesn't seem to have understood most of what you said. All right, so what do you look like when you're winter?
Sorry, you cut out again.
I was like, what?
Ominous pause.
What do you look
You were
like
like
when
me when
you're
I'm winter.
in winter?
Oh, I'm trying not to experience my winter form too much at this point.
All right. Cool.
Cori's an
Nobody-
experience, man.
I don't like winter either.
Yeah, nobody wants a sad sack around,
Oh.
she says, just kind of looking into her feet.
I lean over to Blake and go, "It's okay. I want you around." Pats his arm.
Oh,
Science bros.
Science bros.
That was mean.
I'll just cut my hand and drape it over my blood chalice.
Okay.
Not at the table.
Yeah, can you not do that here, dude?
He has to. Okay. He has
At
to
the
do
kitchen
it.
table?
Yeah, he does.
Has to do it?
He has the last several days.
I
He's trying
know,
to
it's
get like,
still
please not
gross.
at the table. So yeah, you cut your hand into your bloodstone chalice, and you see the bloodstones actually change to a new pattern. So now you gain your portent ability for the day. And it is, you guys know that you have, if you were to leave within the next 10-15 minutes or so, you could probably make it to Parnell's cart an hour after daybreak, which was when he had initially given you guys as his skedaddle time.
Yeah, we should do that.
One sec. Hey, Swift.
What is it, yeah?
If Farron, Mugwort, and Prescott come around looking for me, can you tell them that I've gone on my first job? Or third job. I'm leaving town.
I'll tell them that you're headed away, Nya. Do you have a destination where you want to meet them at, or is this just an open-ended bye for now, Nya?
See them at the tournament.
I'll be sure to let them know, Nya.
Thanks, Swift. And I flick him a gold piece.
He catches it. No problem.
Make sure Fang gets my package.
I'll be sure to do so, Nya. And he gives
shit.
you a wink.
All right.
Did you just flick Swift all the money that you had?
No, shut up.
Rip us.
Oh.
Caelum's a broke boy.
Gwen is gonna write 2 letters,
Okay.
real quick, and by write I mean just scribble. One is going to be to Fang, like as a bros goodbye, if you will.
Okay.
A see you later, thanks for the shit. And then she's gonna lean over to Caelum. What was that dwarf's name again?
Mugworth.
Mugworth?
Just call him Mug.
Mug? Alright, cool. She's gonna write him a love letter. That's like, the night we spent together was the most memorable thing. I'll never forget you, blah, 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 blah. When I see you in the tournament, I hope we meet in fair weather or whatever. Like, she makes it really fluffy
Okay.
and then hands it off.
Okay, sounds good. If you want to send me either of these letters throughout the week, totally do it.
Alright.
So yeah, you guys watch Gwen hastily write out these letters, hand them to Swift. Caelum gives Swift his message, and then does anybody have anything else that they would like to do in the Zesty Anchor before setting out?
I set the place on fire.
Gather all our
Grab our shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should go.
Make sure
Erase
you
my
check
sigils.
under your bed,
Yeah, so
in
you
the
guys
cubbies, in the closet.
Keep the
clean up
pillows. All of everything that you need to, and pack your bags full of all of your gear that you had set into your room. And again, Cori's room was just never opened, so it remained perfectly untouched. You know that they're gonna go through and clean it all anyways, because that's just innkeeper staff, but you didn't do anything to the room. So you guys then set out, and you look up and you can see that there is just this, again, kind of heavy rain that seems to just kind of be pouring over town. And as you guys begin walking up to meet with Parnell, you can actually see that Shroudport has a very complex drainage system, as they don't want water just kind of going back and forth down the switchbacks. So it seems like some of this water actually gets collected into drains that then slides behind and underneath houses that can shoot down directly into the ocean below, or it just collects and pools somewhere else, and you can see it kind of being collected into large barrels, and they seem to be making use of the rainfall that they get here. And as you round the last switchback, Caelum's legs burning like all hell, having now walked up Shroudport again for like the third, fourth time in 2 days. It's been pretty rough, but you guys actually get up to the gate, and you see that Parnell is on the other side of the gate, waving at you guys with his 6-fingered hand. It's all right. Well, I almost thought that you weren't going to come and that you were just going to take my gold from me, but I'm glad that we can get this underway. And we are going to be starting your guys' adventure with Parnell when we come back from our first break of the evening. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has stuck with us through this adventure. Seriously, you guys are amazing, and I'm really excited to be able to continue doing this for everybody here. So we're going to be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure that you grab a drink, grab a food, grab a friend, bring them all back, and then we can continue where we left off. So we're going to go use the bathroom, get ourselves some drinks, and we shall return shortly. So until then, all right, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to try and make the transition. And we are
And
back.
so I'm like pulling out the body from the car, and my dad
Dude,
is
alive.
like, "Can you just like kick it in there?" Like, I'm like,
We're live.
We've
That's a felony.
We've talked about discussing felonies live on Twitch, right here at the Indoor Adventurers stream. So thank you to everybody who decided to come on by. As our players are always want to try and mess with me. There is no body. Please don't look by the overpass. It's a bad time. Anyways, so we are getting back to our wonderful start to what is sure to be an excellent adventure north, as our players are finally now reaching the point where they no longer want to be in their big city adventure. Now they can
later.
Yeah, now you guys can go and explore and traverse across the world that you have found yourselves in. But the first person that you, of course, are meeting up with on this wonderful visit is your new tiefling patron, Parnell, who is willing to... Sorry, Blake, poor choice of words. But he is willing to... he has then now given you guys each 15 gold pieces for meeting him up first thing in the morning. And he's very excited to get ready and go. And you can see that he has a pretty taut tarp over the back of his cart to kind of keep a lot of the water and wetness that would otherwise ruin whatever it is that he is transporting. And he kind of hops onto the cart, and you can see he's wearing just like this really kind of thick poncho. All right, so well, I was looking at the map, and we should be able to get about half of the way to Dawngrass tonight. There's actually a waystone on the way, so we should be able to camp out there. And then from the waystone, it should only take about another day to get to Dawngrass. And then after Dawngrass, it's only about 3 more days until we get to Silk Creek.
Sorry, I'm not familiar with your plane. What is a waystone?
A waystone? Well, I mean, really just giant slabs of rock. Sort of seem to be scattered around. Every once in a while when you're traveling, you'll find them. But nobody really knows who built them.
I thought it might be a hotel chain.
No, sadly not. Maybe if you were an ant and you were really tiny and you could just climb on in there, but I don't think so. I haven't seen too many. I saw one in the glen, and then I saw another one towards the edge of the woods, and then this one. This is the 3rd one I've ever seen.
All right.
But yeah. Do you guys you can ride in my cart if you want. Old Bess here doesn't exactly have the strongest legs, but she'd probably be able to carry both myself and Gwen I'm assuming you guys have introduced yourself, or if not, he'll point and say, Or it would at least be able to carry your small friend as well.
I spent most of my life walking, dude. I'll be fine, thank you.
Well, that's all. Oh, okay. I'm not trying to step on any toes or nothing. Just simply trying to, be kind and courteous. That's what Mom always said. Always be kind, always be courteous. And so you guys now set off on your trek, and it is slow going. The cart kind of gets stuck in some mud at one point along your path, and it takes you the better part of 20 minutes to kind of pop it out and just lift it and make sure that you guys are actually able to continue progressing onward. And you go through most of the day, and towards the later part of the evening, the rain actually clears out. And until you just get this very nice overcast sky where you can see that there are clouds that are sparsed intermittently throughout the sky, kind of as the sun is going down, creating this very nice scenic view. But everything is still very wet, very not exactly a fun walk in the rain, but you all have hoods, you bought your winter gear, you're actually feeling fairly comfortable. Having gone through this day of travel. And as it gets closer towards nighttime, you guys actually see Parnell points ahead, and he points out one of these waystones to you, and you can see standing about 10 feet tall, just jutting directly out of the ground, just this large domed shape. It doesn't seem like it has any hard edges like an obelisk or a monolith or anything like that, but it does seem to just be this tall standing stone that looks like it has some moss growing off of it, and it doesn't really evoke any sort of emotional response from it other than just seeing this large standing structure out in what would appear to be the middle of nowhere. And Parnell suggests that be where you guys set up and camp for the evening. Just so that way, in case it rains again, we can use that waystone as well an anchor for a tarp or something, so that way we can keep out of the rain.
Good thinking.
Thank you. And so you guys take some time and set up this camp. And he's actually pretty quick on being able to just ignite a fire. He seems to be very good at conjuring bonfires. And it takes a little bit, and he sets his cart off to the side and extends the tarp up onto the waystone itself, so that way it can, and if there was any more rain, it could kind of slosh off the back. And when he does, you can see that Whiskers the cat then kind of jumps out of it, and he's just drenched with rain and just like shakes himself out a little bit, seeming to have found not exactly the driest spot on the cart. He just doesn't seem to be really enjoying it. And so you guys are setting up for the evening, and he says, well, if you guys like, I could maybe make you some food if you want. That was one of the other reasons why I kind of wanted to leave Shroudport was I wanted to open up a bakery.
Go on.
Well, I was thinking that real estate's pretty expensive in Shroudport. If you want to have a good location, then you got to pay, and I didn't really have a whole lot of money. So I figured that maybe if I were to go to Silk Creek, where the rent should be a little bit cheaper, then maybe I could set up my store there and then possibly franchise out after the fact.
You got a name for your shop?
I was gonna call it Devilicious or Sinful Delights. I couldn't think of one. But we're gonna have Asmodanishes, we're gonna have Jalabi, we're gonna have Rakshasa Samosas, we're gonna have Sticks Cake, we're gonna have Babuklava, we're gonna have Bark Claws. It's gonna be amazing. And you wanna know what's gonna set our Asmodanishes apart from everybody else? We're gonna roll them 9 times instead of just the normal 2.
That sounds like I don't actually know what any of that is, guys.
That's all infernal stuff.
Well, no, I meant the food.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd kind of be like a gimmick shop, like,
Duh.
hey, come and meet the six-fingered tiefling man who also sells you delicious abyssal things and infernal things.
You have 6 fingers?
He holds up his hands, and there is an additional there is a second pinky kind of coming out of the bottom on both of his hands.
I grab one of them and start like looking at it.
Okay, could you please not? I'll let you look, but please, they're very frail. They aren't like, the strongest of additional fingers that a body could possibly have. Maybe if it was like another pointer finger, but the fact that it's another one of my tiny boys kind of puts it on a problem.
Right. Sorry.
You can look if you want, and he extends his hand down out for you, and you can just see that the base of his hand just looks a little bit wider to accommodate for another entire finger that is a little bit shorter than his pinky to just come up.
I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a baker, is that I can knead really well with these hands.
Oh.
So you know a bit about the hells.
Yeah.
If you're naming your
just
your
not
confections after that.
not a whole. I mean, you pick up some stuff here or there, and maybe like you find yourself in a situation where certain family members are reading you bedtime stories that end up being a little bit more than a bedtime story.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can understand that.
I thought it was a work of fiction for a while, and then I found out that it was real, and that was a big day. That was Yep. So, do you guys want any food? I could make you some food if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do a quick survey of the area if anybody wants to join me. Just make sure there's nothing nefarious going on here.
Yeah, and so you make a perception check as Parnell goes and starts getting things out of the carts from the back.
I'll check.
Ooh. 17.
Okay. So yeah, with your 17, you can see that maybe about 30 minutes away from where you guys are, that there are 3 horseback riders that seem to kind of just be trotting along the road coming towards your direction.
Can I see whether, like, are they humans? Are they guards? Are they...
With how late it's gotten, the light is kind of diminished to the point that it would be very difficult for you to be able to identify the racial qualities. But you can see that one of them is slightly bigger than the others, and he seems to be riding in the back.
Okay. I will inform the others. They're coming towards the rock.
Yeah.
Is it big enough for us to share it?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
large enough that you guys could share this. It is it's about 10 feet tall, and about as large as a tree trunk around. Like, it would take you specifically, Gwen, quite a bit to actually be able to like wrap your arms around it. You would know that it would take about 5 of you all standing around holding hands to actually be able to wrap your arms around.
Okay.
It's a
I'm
bit
going...
late for people to still be on the road, isn't it?
Well, if they're traveling to here, then, it's halfway. Makes sense.
I suppose.
I'm gonna go, get behind them for no reason.
Okay.
Wait, why?
I'm just gonna... What?
Wait, why?
Well, in case they try to, like, attack us, then I'll be behind and I'll go, wah!
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
I will face them for the same no reason.
Yeah, no, I think that, just maybe a cautious All right, you guys have never been on the road before. Okay. Well, you guys have all been on the road before, right?
Yeah.
All right, don't trust anyone ever
Including my friends?
on the road.
Oh.
And give no one your full name.
Right. Wait, why?
Oh, names have power. Do you not do that here?
Names have power?
Yeah.
Wow. Shit. All right. Yeah, don't give anyone your names.
Only got the one.
I've only got the one, too.
All right, I'm gonna go be over there. If they seem legit and cool, I'll come out and be like, oh, I couldn't find any kindling. All right, cool. I'm gonna go. Is there any tall grass?
Evergrass is tall grass for Gwen.
Yeah, you can see that the grass is pretty wild around here, and it is more of that very fine seagrass that grows up around coastal regions, where it's not like you can put your hand and run through it smooth. Like, it feels almost sharp to kind of help along with the winds that sort of that typically roll through this area. But yeah, you are able to find a spot to hunker down in some long grass, and it's very wet, it's very cold, and your feet kind of sink into the mud. But in a way, this is exactly why you love being an adventurer, is for just this down and gritty moment. And Cori, you're kind of just standing, waiting for these riders to come up on you.
Yep.
And you
Sword
see,
isn't drawn, but I'm making it very visible.
yeah, and you can see like one of them has what looks to be a lute on his back, and the others are just kind of hoods up. And Blake, I would like for you to make a perception check.
Screaming.
Dun, dun, dun.
So close. It was on 20 for like half a second, but it is instead of 2.
Okay.
Plus 2 is 4.
Okay. So as these riders are coming up, you actually hear what sounds like glass shattering. And you look over towards where the glass shattering is, and you can see that Whiskers had actually been in your bag, and it seemed to have been playing with the container that you guys had actually kept that black worm in from Sten's garden, and the worm you see it going into the ground.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
Whiskers just walks off.
Just gonna glare at the cat.
And it just does that thing where it's like giving you like that really sauntering catwalk to make sure you can see its little cat butt as it's walking away. As you know, this is a very spiteful imp underneath its feline exterior. And so
Are they moving past us?
you hear the one in front of you actually as they approach. The one in front with the lute on its back just, "Hail, adventurers!" Oh,
Oh god, it's a fucking bard.
Ho, traveler.
hello. Well, it's been a long day on the road for the lot of us, so I was wondering, your fire looks rather inviting. Perhaps I could play you a song, we could share some meal, and then, we won't share a night by just our lonesomes this evening. Not that I'm trying to insinuate anything, although there are some rather lovely ladies here, but I would like to just say, we're just here, it's been a long ride. Would you mind if we shared your fire?
Is a human?
You see that the man in front is human. And you can see that...
Check him.
Yeah, you can make an insight check.
Humans.
Seven.
Yeah, this guy seems like he's just had a long ride. and is looking to just share a campfire. And you can see that the larger figure behind him starts getting off of his horse and pulls his hood down. You can see what looks to be a half-orc face as he just starts moving. He starts moving both his horse and the bard's horse off to the other side of the waystone.
I don't sense anything fiendish or undead or fey.
Not coming from these three. You do sense a little bit of fiendish coming from the cat, and you sense a little bit of fiendish coming from Parnell, and you sense a little bit of fey coming from both yourself and from Caelum. But these three seem to be on the up and up.
All right. Well, that's the best I can do. Plenty of room beneath the rock. Coriander will go and sit by the fire.
Excellent.
The bard's not cute, is he?
He's a little cute.
Okay.
He's not unattractive. He seems like he definitely has attractive physical elements to him. You can see that he has a very small ponytail that seems to be cropped rather than sort of just leading down. And he has this one strand of hair that always falls perfectly along the side of his face. But never, like, regardless of how often he brushes it out, it always just sort of seems to come back in. And the half-orc has what looks to just be a shaved head with a few tattoos that you can kind of see coming up from his back onto the base of his neck. And then the third figure takes off their hood, and you can see that it is a half-elven woman with very reddish brown hair that sort of just seems to have little braids coming from the side going around to the back to keep it out of her eyes as well.
All right.
We have come a very long way, and we are just looking for a little bit of rest. I hope it's no trouble. Oh, it's really no trouble at all. You said there are three of you? I can get some extra food made up for you, no problem. And Parnell kind of goes over to his cart and starts making extra food for your all new guests. And you can see the bar just, well, thank you. That's very kind. Well, I feel like I would be a scant remiss if I did not introduce myself. I am... You can just call me Harv. And he holds his hand out to you, Cori.
You may call me Cori.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Cori. And... Hello, and what's your name? And he motions towards Caelum. He doesn't go to, like, take your hand like he did Cori's, but he definitely is like, oh, and what's your name?
Oh, hi, what do I do?
Well, you can start by just saying your name. It's always a good start.
Hi, I'm Caelum.
It's nice to meet you, Caelum. And you,
Blake.
what is Blake? And you, what is your name? And he also offers his hand down to you, Gwen. Or no,
Gwen?
you weren't there. Yeah.
Gwen.
So he just sees the three of you guys.
I'm in the mud.
My bad. So yeah, you are
Bad.
currently just in the mud enjoying yourself. And as these meals are brought out, the Parnell finally sits down next to you, Cori, and offers everybody their plates. And Harv just sort of waves his hand, just no, it's fine. I'll have it after I play. I don't like to get my fingers greasy before I touch the strings. And he pulls out his lute, and he.
Coriander already has like something half stuffed into her mouth, and then she kind of like wipes her fingers on her shirt.
Mm-hmm. And so then he starts to play a song, and as he does, he's just sort of like, this song seems very much just like a basic sea shanty that the lot of you would be able to recall having heard in Fang's establishment on the first night that you were there, and you're a little curious about whether or not this is the same bard that was there at Fang's bar. But there was so much going on that evening that it was very hard to remember. You just remember this song being played. And as you all progress through the night, Garen, the half-orc, ends up bringing out a wineskin, and he starts drinking it, and he hands it to the female half-elf, who also starts drinking it, and they all just start passing around this wineskin. And they offer it to you three sitting there as well. And Gwen, the smell of cooked food is just, it's so good, but you're holding out. You're gonna find out whether or not all of this is as it seems.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you guys partake in any of the wine that's being passed around?
No.
No, thanks. I don't drink often.
Yes.
Enough.
Okay. So yeah, you start having some drinks as well, and you can see Parnell, when he's offered some, just like, well, yeah, I'd love some, and like he starts like having some. He starts drinking just like straight from this wineskin as well, and by the time it gets back to Harv, you know that the wineskin is mostly empty. There's a little bit left, and he like raises it above his mouth, and as a few final drops come down, and then he's like, "Oh, well, that was wonderful." And then he starts eating some of the food and just, this is really good. It's really good. These are some good ingredients, man. And he just keeps eating and enjoying it. And you can see that the half-elf has not touched her food. And the half-orc just seems to have like snarfed down half of his plate. And is kind of eyeing the half-elf's plate as well. And Harvey eventually like finishes his, kind of brushes his mouth a little bit, sets his plate down, says, well, I'm sure that ingredients like these probably cost you a pretty penny, I'm sure. Is that correct? And Parnell just, yeah, it did. It was worth it though. You know, I'm planning on opening a bakery when I get to Silk Creek. And you see the half-orc kind of lean over and say something to the half-elf, and the bard is just looking forward. Oh, are you now? That is very wonderful. I am sure that when you get to Silk Creek, you can open up so many bakeries. But I don't think that we can really let you get that far. And he says that just kind of out in the open to Parnell. And Parnell just, wait, what? Why? And the bard just looks at him and says, well, maybe you should tell your friends how you paid for their services. Don't you think that would be a thing that maybe you should tell your tell this beautiful maiden here, as well as these two other friends,
Indoor, what the fuck?
where you came across this money?
Was a sweet boy. Don't give him a tragic backstory.
Son of a bitch.
We're gonna have to murder people.
And Parnell, like you see, like even though he has gray skin, his face kind of goes white, and he just goes, "Oh, this isn't good. This is not good." Until you see the half-orc kind of stand up and stretches his arms, and he walks back to their horses, and the half-elf is just kind of sitting there, and she you see her kind of pull a dagger out from underneath her cloak, and she starts poking some of the food that Parnell had prepared. So, I have a question for all of you. Do you have the 500 gold Parnell needs to pay off his debts. Parnell just,
Say what?
well, you know, and the bard says again, Parnell, do you have the 500 gold that the Lord of Ravens requires for you to pay off your debts? Parnell just, well,
Say what?
The who?
I mean, not really. And the bard again just kind of pulls his lute back and just starts picking it as you see this half-orc come back out from the other side of the waystone, this time with a giant maul in his hand. Now, Cori, you were a delight. Blake, Caelum, I'm sure you're both wonderful, but we're here to take back Parnell, if that is all right. Really, we just need any part of him, preferably his whole person, but we can make small deliveries if necessary. And you see the bard kind of stand up, his lute still at his chest, and the half-elf also stands up. And Parnell's eyes just kind of get wide as this entire thing happens, and he actually starts scrabbling back just a little bit. And the bard just kind of continues to strum and continues to play as his friends flank him as they look at Parnell. Yes?
What are my friends doing? Do they seem like they're gonna jump into this, or what?
They seem
Blake
to be...
is super tense.
Yep. Your friends look very, very tense, but they are currently sitting on the ground, as that is where they had all kind of been enjoying their meal.
Just slowly reaching over for my shield.
Blake is gonna stand up.
Quickly reaching over for my shield.
Whose authority are these accusations?
I'm sorry, what? I couldn't hear you.
Under whose authority are these accusations being
Well,
presented?
when somebody takes out a loan and then they aren't able to pay that loan or try and skip town, it's my job to just get them back and make them pay that loan one way or the other. And your dear friend seems to have taken out quite a sizable piece and thought that he could skip town. So
Did he say who from?
he had previously, but he seems to be dodging the subject this time around.
I mean, it sounds to me that Parnell took out this loan in order to support his small business. And now he's moving that business to another town. There seems to be some sort of misunderstanding here. I'm sure he had every intention of paying back the loan, didn't you, Parnell?
And Parnell just looks at you and just, yeah, yep, yes, did, 100%. That is what I was going to pay back. And he just
You've seen his work. Coriander gestures to Harv's plate. You can see that he's a very promising chef, baker. I'm certain he'll be able to pay back your loan with interest if you give him the time.
Oh, I'm sure that he would be able to pay back his loan with interest in time. But the man I work for is rather impatient, so if you don't mind. And he brings his hand up and strums
that's all
down
I needed to hear.
and casts. He actually casts Thunder Wave at you guys that are all sitting on the ground. And so I'd like for you all to roll initiative, as the bard is the one to initiate combat.
Now it's just self-defense.
He hit first.
Give the paladin an excuse to attack, please. I beg of you.
Shit. Sorry.
No swearing, Caelum! God damn it!
9 hells.
Same.
Fuck! Ah!
In the darkness, I say, fuck.
Caelum.
What do you have? A knife? No!
Ow. What do you have? A spear. No.
Okay.
A spare?
And
Spur.
Yeah.
so, Blake, what is your initiative?
11.
Okay. Caelum, what is your initiative?
So whenever I roll a 1 and I have a -1 dex, so now I have 0 initiative.
Okay.
Solid.
Okay, so Cori, what is your initiative?
17.
17?
Okay, all right.
All right. And Gwen.
Oh, I am rounding it out with a 6.
Okay.
We are not prepared, except for
Oh,
Cori.
I am so prepared. I'm so prepared that I am waiting for my time to attack.
Right. So,
I am literally just first in the second turn of initiative.
he is going to cast a Thunder Wave. So I am going to need some saving throws. Yes, so for Thunder Wave, I am going to need the 3 of you at the campfire to roll a Constitution save.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I thought that's what you were asking for the first roll. So I rolled a 5 plus 2 is 7.
Okay.
Doing great tonight.
All right.
14.
14 saves.
13.
13?
Yeah.
So 13 and 14 both save, but Blake, you are going to be taking the full 13.
Fuck.
And you are pushed away 10 feet. So you just kind of get rattled back about 10 feet from the place where you currently are. And then Caelum and Cori, you are both going to be taking 6 points?
Yes.
Yes. 6 points of thunder damage. As Harv pushes you back with the force of his amazing loot. Next up is Cori.
Alrighty. First thing Cori does is says, Parnell, do me a favor and get under your wagon. And,
You don't have to tell me twice, and he just starts like scrabbling away.
She's gonna go for Harv with a longsword attack. And I've been using Roll20 the past couple of days, so I was clicking around like, where's my longsword? Oh, natural 20.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yes!
Amazing.
Murderize that man.
And we're also going to add a smite to this.
Woo!
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
Oh goodness! All right, so it's double
Dice.
dice for the crit. So this is for the longsword, and I know how to do math. 13 plus.
My damage doesn't get doubled, does it?
I don't think so.
It's a die.
17 slashing damage. What's the ruling on that, GM?
What was the question?
Does
Smite
smite damage get doubled on a crit?
Yeah, smite gets doubled. You roll double smite.
God.
Paladins are really good. And
Because you get the
also-
choice to add this damage
And
on.
also, that is something that we have done before on this show. This isn't a spur of the moment. We have had you roll doubles for when you smited previously. So,
Jeez. Okay. So
Less.
But 17 slashing damage, and here comes the smite. And shoot, what was the dice for smite again? I apologize. It's a D8.
yes.
Again. Okay, great.
Handful of d8s.
That's 12 plus 6, 18 total radiant damage on that smite. And I would like for this not to be lethal, if I can.
Yeah, you strike out against this guy, and the rest of you just see this huge flash of vibrant green and orangish energy that just sort of seems to radiate from Cori's blade as you bring it up over your head to come down with this strike. It just seems to leave a tracer in the air where you guys can almost see the outline of what look to be autumnal leaves that then just start floating in the air and then rest down at the ground at your feet. Seeming to have come from Cori's connection with the Feywild. And that is when
What do you know?
the two others that are there with Harv, the half-orc and the half-elf will both go in this turn as well. So the half-orc is going to come up to you, Cori, and he is going to swing down with his maul in an attempt to catch you in the stomach.
Bring it.
And he gets a natural 20.
Oh, great.
Which, as a half-orc, he also gets to add an additional damage die with his savage attacker.
Great.
So...
Great. Fight. I tighten my abdominal muscles. It's like armor. Armor.
It's just really, really sweet armor. Alrighty, so let's see here. 4. Okay, so he is going to get
102 damage. Pretty sure that knocks you down.
I don't have any reactions.
He is going to deal 14 points of bludgeoning damage against you.
Fine.
Okay. And then the second one is actually going to take the knife that she had kind of tapping the food. And she is actually going to disengage and then go up to where Parnell is. And you can see that she's kind of grabbing towards where his feet are. And she just says, "I'm going to try and get one of his fingers," and just is trying to scrabble at him. So that is her turn. So next up is going to be Blake.
All right, so whenever the thunder wave hit and Blake was being pushed back a little bit, it also threw off his hood, which is going to be really fucking cool because he's also going to cut his hand on his crossbow. Because I'm sure in the past couple of days I added the same edge to it so I could light it up.
Oh, yeah.
So like normal, it starts off with that same carmine lithium chloride flame and does that red energy. But after one or two beats, it changes. It turns this sickening yellow green energy as it sparks from this crossbow, and he is going to cast Cause Fear on the half-orc.
Okay.
And I need a wisdom save.
He got an 11.
He needed to meet a 12.
Okay. So yeah, he is...
So he drops whatever he is holding.
Okay. Drops his maul.
The frightened target can repeat the saving throw at the end of its turns, but okay, this isn't telling me the full thing. Let me go to that page.
Okay.
I think Cause Fear is they drop their thing and have to run away, but that could just be the fear action. I'll look it up.
Okay, sounds good.
But that was my bonus action and my action.
Alrighty, sounds good. So next up is going to be Gwen.
Yeah. All right. I am hidden from them, I think.
You think so?
Cool. I would like to tiny rage, please.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out one of my hand axes, and I'm going to throw it at the lady who's going for the dude.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Cool. Hand axe. Ooh, shit. Ooh, that's not bad. That's a 22 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
All right. So, strength based. 1d6. So that's 10 damage.
Okay.
And with my racial trait, now my primal path, my tattoos begin to glow. And while raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn has disadvantage on any attacks that isn't against you.
Nice.
When the target hits a creature other than you, the creature has resistance to the damage dealt by the attack.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm going to run in and I'm going to yell something in
in Goliath's speech that's meant to be scary.
Okay. Sounds
I didn't
good.
plan that part, but I'm
You're
going
just
to.
yelling out a shopping list, like 2 eggs.
I've smeared mud all over my face, by the way.
Like you're
Just
full.
everywhere.
You're Schwarzenegger and Predator, just
Yes,
covered in
exactly.
mud.
Exactly.
All right.
So, and then I'm gonna run over to the chick
Okay, sounds good. And then
if
Blake.
I can.
The half orc does not drop his thing. He is only frightened,
Okay, sounds good.
specifically of me.
You did him a frighten, and it worked real well. So he's shaking in his boots. Caelum, it is your turn.
Okay. Caelum lifts up his shield. I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon.
Woo!
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna... Cool. I think I'm gonna position it next to the elf.
Okay. Sounds good. The elf that's on top, that's near Parnell, that now Gwen is up against.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a explosion of holy light, and then you just see like a constant stream of like drifting feathers floating.
Okay.
And then when it gets summoned, I attack with it, and the feathers like whip around and like start slashing her up.
Okay. So it's just like a tornado of feathers as your weapon.
Yeah.
Nice. I dig it.
Hey now. The dream is over. That's an 18 natural.
Nice.
1d8 plus my spellcasting. Wait, where are my d8s? There's my d8. 5. Sorry, give me a second. 8 points of force damage.
Ooh. Yikes. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. And spiritual weapon's a bonus action, so I get another spell. Do I blow this now? I guess I do. I'm casting command at 2nd level.
Okay.
I'm going to... So I target, I guess, the bard and the... Is the elf already on the ground? She's trying to scrabble.
She was trying to grab at Parnell, and I say was trying to because you guys have made it very apparent that she is not going to get what she came here for.
Okay. And I know Cori did a shit ton of damage to the other guy. So... I'm going to target the elf and the bard, and Caelum's just going to yell grovel.
Okay. So the bard.
Save DC's 13 wisdom.
So the bard got a 17 wisdom save.
Set face.
And the elf goes from trying to reach out to grab at Parnell to then bringing her hands down into the ground and kind of rearranges herself.
The what I'm reading in the cleric thing, it happens on her turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So yeah, she has received the command, but that is going to be it. So then, seeing as how Caelum and you are you staying where you were?
He's just used half his movement, stand up, and he has his shield in front of him.
Okay. So you are standing in front of him, Cori. You are standing in front of this bard as well, and he's looking very, very, very hurt. And he looks at you, Cori, and just, this one knows how to fight. I like that. And you see him just swing his lute over and pluck it, and he is going to cast Shatter in between you and Caelum. So I would like for you both to make a Constitution saving throw.
A lot of con saves.
16.
3.
Okay, 16 is enough. 3 is not. So 3, you are going to be taking the full brunt of this, which he is going to deal 10 points of thunder damage. And Cori, you are only going to take 5 points of thunder damage. But Caelum, as you had your shield out in front of you, as this shatter effect takes place, you can actually hear what sounds like the metal faceplate on your shield actually starts to break and crack from the force of the shatter ability.
Is he carrying it?
Yeah, he had his shield in front of him to continue preventing him from the blast. And looking down, you can just start seeing what look to be metallic shards just kind of clinking away from the front of your shield.
Okay. I think Shatter has a thing for things being worn or carried.
Oh, that isn't being
Yep.
worn or carried. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're good on your shield. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. So
That was about to be a whole separate can of worms that was about to happen.
So shield's fine. That was my bad. Thank you for checking on that. That's important. So then next up is going to be Cori.
Alrighty.
As this bard is very messed up in front of you. But he doesn't
Yeah,
seem...
so am I.
Yep.
I only got 5 hit points left, but I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna make them count. It's fine. The bard is hurt, and freaking half orcs got disadvantage, so we're cool. We're cool. I say, and then die. I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike, and this will pop off if my attack hits. And that's a bonus action.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack the bard with my sword. And I'll say, it's a shame you've used your talents to hurt people. And that will be... How do I do things? +4. So a 15.
Okay. 15 just hits.
Awesome.
Roll for damage.
So a bunch of vines will come out of my sword and wrap around him. And he needs to make a strength saving throw or be restrained.
Well, he got a 16 on his strength save.
That almost certainly saves. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for me. Aside from the damage that is coming.
Okay.
Wait, I think...
And are you still doing subdual, or are you past the point of wanting to subdue?
Oh no, I'm definitely subduing.
Okay.
I learned my lesson. Skavix taught me not to kill people. All right. That's gonna be 5 slashing damage.
Okay. So he is still up, but he is looking rightly hurt. Very, 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 very messed up.
All right.
All right.
So is Cori. So everything's fine. It's fine.
So you see at this point, that is when the half-elf just like kind of cinches themselves around until they're facing the direction of Caelum. And you just hear her go, "I am not worthy!" And just begins like bringing her arms up and down. "I am but a worm!" And she just continues groveling in front of you for her turn.
I guess that works too.
And that is when the scared half-orc is currently going to try and strike out against Cori as well, as he does not seem to have taken any sort of damage during this encounter, but has instead been his friend's right-hand man through thick and thin. So
Come on, do it.
he is going to get a 12 to hit. Yep.
That's a no.
At disadvantage?
Yeah, at disadvantage it was a 12. Cool. Otherwise it would have been a 17. Yep. So that
Still
didn't,
wouldn't have hit.
yeah, so that did not work out for him, but he just seems to try and be menacing you as well. And he is that is all that he can really do besides just trying to look intimidatingly. And he and you see that he kind of like makes eye contact with Harv, and Harv makes eye contact with him as well. And this orc is actually going to try and disengage. And he'll provoke an attack of opportunity as he can't use the disengage action, but he is going to try and hop back to the horses around the other side of the waystone.
Who's he provoking from?
From Cori, as you are directly on him, because he was right next to the bard. So, Cori, if you would like to have an attack of opportunity, you can. Otherwise, he's just going to book it.
Oh, I would love to, actually.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was what you were...
Yeah.
It's a nat 20!
Yes! That's the good shit right there.
Tonight's the night Danae draws blood.
Tonight's the night I kill again. Well, okay, here we go. Well, I rolled low on the damage dice though, so I needed it.
Okay.
Do you add your modifier when you double your damage, or is it just
No,
double damage?
you add your modifier, but you don't multiply your modifier. Like you don't add it twice.
Your
You just add
damage
it to
dice
once.
first and then add it.
Yep.
For math.
Alright, so that's gonna be 7 slashing damage.
Okay. So 7 slashing damage sounds good. So he is still standing, and he's going to continue making his way to the horses. He does not seem like he was he's a little upset, to say the least. You did do him a really good slash. But he is just going to continue making his way around the outside of the waystone. So next up is going to be Blake. And Blake, you can still see this guy kind of on his way over to the horses.
Yeah, he's running away. He probably won't get that far because I'm going to use a bonus action to Crimson Right, Blood Curse at the Marked him.
Okay, what does that do? Sounds scary as hell.
It doubles my Crimson Right die.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to do a 12 on my attack roll.
Okay.
Plus 7 is going to be
hit.
a 19.
Oh yeah. At level 3, a 19 is like a guaranteed hit on pretty much anything you guys should be facing. What's the damage?
Yeah, deal double Crimson Right damage. So do I double the die or roll it twice?
Just roll twice.
Cool. Okay.
Is it good okay? Bad okay?
So I was 1 away from doing max damage.
Woo!
Oh,
So that's fucking cool. So 9 plus 3, 12 points of piercing damage and 8 points of fire damage.
Oof. Yeah, he is not looking good. Like, you shoot him in the back, and it is... Normally, you're like, all right, mental note. Aim for the shoulder if I don't want to kill him. And as you release the crossbow bolt, it just finds that soft spot right between the shoulder blade, like in between a rib by your spine. Like, it just sinks right into this guy, and he lets out a very loud as you're...
That yellowy flame just coming out of that.
Oh yeah, it is just
crossbow
leaving
bolt.
this trail on his back. But he is still up and trying to move. So next up is going to be Gwen. And Gwen, you currently have this half-elf who's just like shaking their head like, why was I saying I was a worm? After having groveled for their round.
Prone on the ground.
Yes, but they are prone.
I'm gonna hit her again with 1 attack. With my first attack, with my battle axe. Well, I'm gonna attempt to, and then I'm gonna throw my hand axe at the other dude.
All right. If you want to throw your hand axe at the other dude, you would have to maneuver yourself around to another spot where you could see him, and you would provoke an attack of opportunity from the half elf. But I just want to let you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First attack is a 12.
You do have advantage because they're prone.
Right. I shouldn't have rolled that dice, nope. All right, next attack. The axe. So I'm going to move so she can attack me if
Okay.
she wants.
She is going to try. And does a 15 hit.
Yes, it does.
Alrighty. So, since she is only using daggers, she didn't have like a short sword handy, you are only going to take 6 points of damage, which halved because you're raging down to 3.
Cool. All right, and then for my other attack, roll my other. Nope, that's an 8. Why? You're a different dice though. We talked about this.
Okay. So your hand axe just goes wild as this half orc is just kind of like trying to run away. Caelum, it is your turn. And you are currently like had brought your shield up, and looking back down, you can see that Cori and this bard are very much both like very, very hurting. You can see that there is a half orc that's kind of like rushing over towards where their horses were. And then you can see that this half elf has tried to slash out at Gwen and has seemed to have regained their composure.
Very much like a telltale like moment. Time slows down. You get the choices.
Too
Help
soon
Gwen.
with Telltale. Too soon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Steven will remember this.
So Cori looks the most fucked up out of everyone.
Oh yeah. She threw herself right in there, and you saw that half orc just slam into her with his maul.
And she's currently fighting the duder.
Yeah, she's currently aggressing upon the bard.
Right.
You could call it a fight, but it's a little weird to call a fight between a longsword and a lute, like an actual battle. But world of fantasy.
I only have my shield on me. How far is Cori from me? Like, you're just right next to me, right?
Cori had walked up about 10 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna try to finish him. All right. I'm going to use my Blessing of the Raven Queen,
Okay.
and I'm going to target 10 feet above the bard.
That's right. Do it.
And I'm gonna, as he teleports, I imagine he took a knee to take the shatter, and
Yeah.
as he's about to teleport, he takes that same runner pose that Farron took before dashing forward, vanishing, and then suddenly appearing 10 feet above the bard in like this sort of astral, ghostly armor.
Yeah, you're still wearing your Hopalon of the Raven Queen, as your Blessing of the Raven Queen just covers you in this ancient shadow armor.
And he's gonna bring his shield down like a Captain America, like bong.
Nice. So, this is going to be an attack roll with an impromptu weapon. So damage would be 1d4 plus your strength. But
Cool,
since
I
you
got
are
a
falling from 10 feet up, I will let you replace that d4 with a d6, as gravity is on your side.
Oh, he's so kind. He's such a kind DM.
He's such a kind DM. 16 to hit.
Awesome. Yeah, 16 definitely hits this guy. So roll for damage.
That's a 4.
That is all that you needed. So how does Caelum crush this guy with his Captain America shield?
Oh, it's like he takes the runner pose, disappears, and as the bard is fighting Cori, all he hears is above you. He looks up. Boom.
Okay. And you were
Lands in the
were you
superhero
going
pose.
for subdual damage?
Yes.
Okay.
I assume at this point, if like someone doesn't yell murder, we're doing subdual damage.
Look, Tuesday nights are a weird game. I'm just
Tuesday
throwing
nights
that
are a
out
weird
there.
game.
This is a different game, but
This is a different game.
that's why I want to make sure. So
This is subdual game.
So this is the subdual game. I will remember that. So yeah. So you slam your shield down, and then that guy just falls directly into the dirt, no longer seeming to move.
Caelum stands up. Hi.
And then as you wave to Cori and say hi in your pseudo Christian Bale Batman voice, then the Raven Queen's blessing just dissipates off of you, and standing in front of you is just the slightly dirty Caelum. as the blessing wears off at the end of your, or is it the beginning of your next turn?
Beginning of my next turn.
Yeah, so he's just currently standing in this shadow form in front of you. So next up, yes.
Sorry, the spiritual weapon.
Okay, you used your bonus action for the Blessing of the Raven Queen.
No, but it gets its own attack on its turn.
Does it?
Right?
I think it's a bonus action on your turns.
As a bonus action on your turn, you can move the weapon up to 20 feet and repeat the... Okay, cool.
All right.
Bonus
sweet.
action. Sick.
Just wanted to make sure. So next up is Cori. And you can see that there is the half elf who is still under the cart, trying to stand up, and there is the half orc that is currently running off towards the cart, or towards their horses.
Got it. Okay, so he's trying to get away. Half elf is prone next to the cart.
Yes.
Okay. So like Coriander, it like sees Caelum appear, kind of doubles over, like still feeling that beat to the gut that she got earlier, and she's just like, "Hi!" And then she's going to take a page from his playbook, and so instead of above him, she'll appear right in front of him, like as he's trying to run away.
Okay. So yeah, you appear in front of this half orc as he is attempting to run.
And this has an effect, so he should probably do a saving throw, which is shoot. Why is it not here? Yes, it is here. Okay. The effect for face stuff, additional effect based on your current season. Where is it? It doesn't say so under my face step. Come back. Where are you?
So, the elven
trait.
nobility, the autumn. So, immediately after you face step, up to 2 creatures of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for 1 minute or until your companions deal any damage to them. Thanks, Mordenkainen.
All right.
You're welcome,
Is the half elf in range?
The half elf is not in range of that, as this is an
fine.
after you teleport, and you're teleporting about 20 feet away to catch up to the half orc.
From the horses?
He got a
Why not?
He got an 11 on his save against being
it's
charmed
a
by
DC
you.
of 13.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen.
So
Now
as
he's both frightened and charmed.
Well, he's frightened of Blake, but he's charmed by you. But let's be honest, who isn't? And so, yeah, he is definitely, like, he was just in a full sprint, but after, as you appear and just, like, stepping out of this autumnal portal, you see his eyes just kind of flash over with this vibrant orange color, and then he just kind of comes to a stop. And he just looks at you.
All right.
And then
I'm about to sparkle too because I'm gonna do lay on hands on myself.
Okay. And you just hear him go, "Whoa, nice." He just sort of like grabs the bolt that's in his back and just pulls it out of his back and sets it down on the ground. But he's not running anywhere yet. And he looks at you and just, "Hey, would it be? Could I like get on my horse? Would that be okay?"
Just stay where you are.
No,
Yeah,
that
just stay right
seems like
there.
that seems like a solid plan. You seem pretty smart.
Yeah, just right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he just sort of like stands and comes up next to you. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry about before. I didn't really mean to rip. You know,
It's fine. I'm fine.
oh, it's a pretty good hit though." And he just sort of seems to be having small talk. And that is when you see the few of you that are by this half elf just see her heavily roll her eyes, and she disengages and actually then begins just running off into the tall grass. And so she's going to get a sneaky. and you see her just rush off into the grass, and you kind of lose track of where she is. But next up is going to be Blake. And Blake, you see that this half-orc is now like in a non-threatening pose, just kind of chatting it up with Cori. You see that Caelum is still in just this shadowed form with what looks to be a porcelain mask with kind of red glowing eyes in it. But you see that that half-elf is just ran.
Do I have enough movement to get to where she disappeared to?
You can rush up to close to where she disappeared to.
So within, say, 30 feet.
Yeah. You'd be up within 30 feet of where she disappeared off to.
Yeah, so I'm going to get up there and have some acid reflux. I need her to roll a dex save.
Okay. So. Okay. She got a 19.
She will take 2 points of acid damage.
Yeah, so the rest of you just see this vibrant stream of green just shooting out of Blake's mouth as he throws up onto one of these thugs that was trying to run away. And you hear her yell out a little bit, but other than that, she doesn't really seem to be very visible.
How's the grass in the area looking after that?
It looks like it is currently just like withering and melting away in this long, solid line.
So would she say be visible after that?
She's barely visible. Like you can see the outline of her form at the edge of your dark vision.
Okay. Cool. That's my turn.
Alrighty. Next up is Gwen.
I do not have dark vision.
Nope.
I
Neither
can't
do I,
see.
actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm going to
That's why you see it at the edge.
I can't see her. I couldn't catch up to her.
No, you can't really see her out there.
All right, I'm gonna go. The bard is down, right?
Yeah, the bard is currently down. He does look like he's still breathing. But he is currently just out of the fight, and this half-orc just seems to be hitting up Cori. It's like, you fought really well out there.
Gwen is going to go up to the half-orc, and she's going to start climbing him.
Oh, hey, little buddy.
Yep. So that when he gets out of this, she's got him in a neck hold.
Okay. And you know, Cori, that he would be charmed for a minute.
Is he still afraid? Because he could have made wisdom saves on that.
He is no longer afraid.
Blake walks up. Oh, man.
Starts rushing off. But so yeah, now Gwen is currently on the back of this half-orc. The bard is currently out of commission, and their half-elf friend seems to have rushed off into the evening. But Cori, you have one round before we will drop out of combat.
All right. So half elf is run off, but Blake is pursuing.
Blake was in hot pursuit. Yes.
Okay. So charmed means that he can't target me with any harmful attacks or anything.
Yeah,
but I also get advantage on charisma checks against him.
Yep.
So I'm going to try and convince him to allow me to tie him to a tree.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
With advantage, because I can do that!
Holy got him.
Alright, that is... Oh, yes! Oh good, I'm trained. How's about a 13?
Okay, so when you bring up the suggestion to tie him to a tree, he just looks at you and says, tying me to the waystone would probably be better.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Closer.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so I do that.
Okay.
If you'll allow me to get the bard tied to the waystone as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do that. All right.
Yeah, and you guys
So
tie
that half
the two
work and
of
that
them.
bard.
Yeah, you tie the two of them up. No problem.
Is Blake pursuing the half elf?
I'm gonna take another shot in the dark, but that's probably gonna be it.
Okay.
You're not gonna run off.
Make a d20. Make a d20 roll.
Straight or disadvantage?
It's just going to be a really high DC to hit.
Okay. It's a 19 plus 7.
Yeah.
And
Hot damn.
yeah,
Ow!
dice cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Roll that sweet damage.
So it's going to be 7 plus 3 points of piercing damage and 3 points of fire damage.
Okay. Sounds good. She does not drop. She's barely alive and running for her goddamn life right now. Yeah, so
Do I feel like a little yellow like blip going
Just
off in the distance?
fucking hauling ass, yeah. And it looks like she's moving at probably close to about 90 feet around.
Huh.
Wow.
Damn.
Bonus action dash, man.
Yeah.
Bonus action.
Not like this, not like this, not like this! And just away. And as combat kind of comes down, the minute goes by after the charm effects, the half-orc just... Oh, god damn it! Like, he's just, like, really upset with himself.
Not again.
And the bard is just, like, headlong off to the side.
I'll gag the bard as well, because, you know, you don't want those vocal... Yeah, you don't want them verbal...
Verbal components.
Yeah, verbal components.
What's up, duder?
And he just snarls at you.
Oh, I'm so scared. Who do you work for?
I ain't saying shit.
I punch him in the face.
Okay.
Oh, dag.
Make a attack roll.
Oh, he works for the Raven. And then Gwen like, socks him in the face.
Is that advantage because he's...
Yeah, he's tied up. You can have advantage.
Yeah. Come on. It's a 14.
I'm gonna say yes, just because he is like currently tied up, and you're like, I'm gonna
No
punch him
dex.
square in the face. Yeah, he has no bonuses to this.
I do 3 damage.
You knock him unconscious.
What? Oh, shit.
So now you just have these two
he wasn't talking.
I mean, he didn't need to.
No?
I mean, Caelum heard, right? Caelum?
Yeah, the Bard guy said that they worked for the Raven Lord, whatever that means.
Do I know who the Raven Lord is?
Parnell, you need to tell us stuff.
Hi. And you just see like the 6 fingers just doing like a little like finger wave. Yeah, so I may have borrowed some money, as they kind of made a point of saying. It was I didn't really know a whole lot of people in town. I went to the docks, and there was a guy who said that he knew a guy and that they could set me up with somebody who was willing to, to give me some money to help start my business. And so I managed to get that money, and then I figured, okay, well, Shroudport kind of, it's not really the greatest of place, so I was just gonna kind of take it and start up. And like Cori said, and like we said when all of this first started happening, I was planning on paying it back.
I'm gonna start digging in my backpack and taking out my writing kit. Open it up. Probably noticed that a couple of my letters were moved around, but
Yeah.
that's a conversation for later. So you're gonna write that, okay? And you're going to put that on one of them. So whenever their employer comes to collect them, they will have something in writing saying that you will pay this back, right?
Yup. Mm-hmm. That is the plan. Especially now.
When did they give you the money?
About a week ago.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, like, they shouldn't be asking for it back anyways.
It's more of that I packed up everything that I owned and was on my way to someplace else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that kind of seems sketchy, but... I mean, it is sketchy, don't get me wrong. But, like, that's kind of shitty of them to be like, oh, he's moving, we'll never see him again!
Tell them you were moving?
No.
I think that's your problem.
Well, like,
I think they probably would have been like, don't leave.
Well, I understand that now.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I wouldn't be able to pay them the money back anyways. I sort of spent it.
That's what you're supposed to do with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I borrowed...
You didn't buy hookers, did you?
No. What did you say, Cori?
Maybe you use those spendings as an investment to get more money so you can pay it back.
See, that's what I was thinking, is that I would use this money to then get more money later, and then I could pay off that initial sum, and hopefully not run myself into any more debt. Because this is a game of escapism, and characters having a shit ton of debt over their head is a little too close to home.
I mean, clearly there was some sort of misunderstanding. Fortunately, we were here to help mediate the negotiations, and I think that you should take Blake's advice. Go ahead and leave a... Sorry, Tyler is just moving my microphone closer. Distracted me. You should take Blake's advice and go ahead and write that letter. And I think that maybe that will help assuage some of their fears. Aside from that, you should probably invest in security when you get to wherever you're going.
Well, I did invest in you guys as partial security for helping me get there. If you're
yes,
looking...
but we won't always be here now, will we?
I don't have the money to hire you on full time.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Plus, it sounds kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
No
bakeries
offense.
can be pretty interesting places.
What?
A bakery.
Oh, I didn't hear what you cut out for me.
Bakeries can be pretty interesting places.
Yeah, not for me. So, are we just gonna, like... What, do you want to sleep now? Should we just leave them tied to the tree?
I think we should probably move.
Take shifts.
The other one's got away, right?
There was one that did get away.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to be here when these guys wake up.
Yeah,
So
that's going to be awkward.
Quick question.
Mm.
What are we gonna do with these kids? And, like, Caelum's walking back, leading the horses over.
Ooh.
And there are 3 horses, and they all look very healthy. Their coats look very fine. There is one that is all black except for a tuft of white coming from the back left hoof right over it, almost looking like a tiny little sock. There is one that has, there's a brown horse that also just has, that's kind of like this nice lighter brown color for the first front half, and then the back half is just spotted in speckles, and then the third horse is just pure white.
Tempting.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna steal their horses, dude.
Of course not. Of course not. That would be immoral.
Well, what if we didn't steal them? What if we escorted them to the next town, and then we could sell them to the people in the town, and then that would earn me some money to be able to pay off my loan? We could call it a finder's fee.
Wait a second. That still sounds like stealing.
No, it's not. It's really not stealing at all.
They're not initially ours.
Look, dude. Look, dude. The answer
They
is
aren't
no.
ours to sell. Yes, we're going to have to.
Here.
We should leave the horses with the people. The half elf will come back and untie them. They'll have a way to get home or to pursue us. They're not going to want to mess with us.
And you see Parnell goes over to the bard, who's like very like has a significant amount of missing blood from his person, and his head's kind of lolled off to the side. And Parnell like straightens his head up a little bit and just, would it be okay if we took your horses? Yes, I think that would be a very good thing. And like moves the bard's mouth as he says
morbid.
it. Just see, they're totally fine with it. We heard it right from these guys.
Can I punch him? Is that a thing? If we're protecting him, do I have to... Am I protecting him from himself if I punch him?
As your employer, I would recommend highly against not hitting me.
Yeah, I think we're like contractually obligated to not harm him.
Horses, what about you? Would you guys like to come with us? And
Yeah.
Parnell goes back over.
In
Just,
the cart, you
yes,
fucking
I would love to
asshole.
come with you.
Dude,
That's
Why
equally
can't you
more.
give us one nice character in your one sweet
get
boy?
your cat, pack your stuff. We're going.
I grab Cori by the touch Cori's shoulder, casting like cure wound.
Okay, so Parnell quickly gets all of his stuff up and just, well, we could also just send the horses on their way. We could just slap them on the rump and just have them go. And then we didn't steal the horses, but we also didn't give our pursuers horses.
I mean, we're only hired for like the next day, right?
Well, the next 4 days.
Right. So
Blood
if they
Dipple,
come back,
Coriander's going to go cast Speak with Animals and go talk to the horses.
Okay.
she's got it. She's got it.
Yeah.
Cori heals for 10, by the way.
Thank you. That's exactly how much I need. I'm going to tell the horses to go home.
They'll look at you, look amongst themselves, look back at you, just nod, and then just start walking off.
Bye.
Goodbye,
She waves
Kessahan. I
wistfully.
appreciate your reference.
She waves wistfully after them, like, oh, I really wanted a horse. All right, make sure that the note says that I sent the horses home, so that they know we didn't steal them.
I'll be sure to
You
add
should-
that in as an addendum.
You should also add in as an addendum that we were attacked first.
I'll be sure to include that as well. And Parnell quickly just scribes out this note, and then just kind of like tucks it into the breast pocket of the bard, and then pats him on the chest. And then you see him kind of like stand up and start turning to walk away, and then turn back and kind of like kick the bard a little bit on his leg, and then walk back to the cart, and he gathers all of his stuff up, and you guys start heading out deep into the night. And that is where we are going to call it for the evening. Unless, Gwen, you had anything else that you want to do.
I just wanted to leave like a thing of rations on both of them and like some
Aw.
water for them. So I'm not a jackass.
That's fair.
And then I'm going to mess up their hair.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
And I'll check on them and make sure that they will,
Aren't dead.
survive and not die, or bleed
Oh,
out
yeah.
or anything.
Throw some
And-
extra hits
Yeah,
over
while I
them.
do that, I probably leave a couple of autumn leaves on them just because.
Just in
We're
there.
Calling card.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's the autumn
it's not
leaf
necessarily on purpose.
tire-upper. They didn't kill anybody, but like hurt us pretty bad. So yeah, you guys start riding off into the dead of night, and then that is where we are going to call it for this evening. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who stuck with us through this entire session. That was insane. Again, thank you to everybody who stopped by. It was awesome being able to see such wonderful people in chat, and I hope that you guys liked what you saw and that you are going to want to come back next week when we do this all again. But before we finish, there are a few sign-offs that we would like to do. So, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I am RJ or RJustice282 on the Twitters.
You muted yourself.
You played yourself.
There we go. Hi, I'm also the resident sneezy boy, as I've been sick all night. And
No.
but anything for you guys, because I love y'all and I can't stop coming back for more, even at the detriment of my own health. You can find me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch when I sometimes stream.
It's a good time. All right, next up, LB. Where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I am going to stream Fallout 4 again this week, probably Thursday. I'm really good at it, so you should stop by. Otherwise, you can catch me tomorrow as a very different character who would have probably just murdered everyone. Ghost, same time, same place.
All right, next up, Connor. Where can we find you? What do you do?
Oh, hi. You can find me at Cyberwolf1201 here on the Twitch, where I stream video games, and I play them badly, but I talk about the lore because I like the lore. You can also see me on Saturdays that are not this coming up Saturday on Pro Restarter's channel, where we just finished up season 1 of Dragon Knights and are pretty soon coming back for season 2, where you can see me play a half-elf warlock, Pact of the Celestial, who also has a Pact of the Dragon dad. Excited to jump back into that in a couple of weeks. This Thursday, you will be able to see me on Open for Adventures channel, where I will not be playing D&D. Instead, I will be talking about it with their lovely DM. And speaking of talking about it, at Kyle with an N and I do a podcast called Let's Talk About It, where we get very drunk and we talk about stuff, usually D&D. And I will edit an episode and release that at some point.
I'm waiting.
Pretty soon.
I'm waiting. When's the next one?
Whenever my computer processes it.
Soon, TM.
But you can also find me on my Twitter, which is where I point out everything that I'm doing within the weeks and stuff. And I also ship posts and talk about Critical Role and D&D and yeah, just anything that I'm doing. Thank you so much. It's so fun.
And next up, Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com for D&D art and commissions. That's it.
All right. And I am the Indoor Adventurer. You can find me here at twitch.tv/The Indoor Adventurer. If you want to find our VODs, we upload them to YouTube at youtube.com/The Indoor Adventurer, where I have videos on game design and a bunch of other fun stuff. But I've been leaning more towards just having our VODs up there because time is the enemy, as I have heard some say. And if you want to, if you missed any of this at all and you would like to catch back up on it, we do have an audio cast that you can find at anchor.fm/indoor-adventures. And if you go on either there, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, any of your major audio platformy places, you will be able to find us and you can catch up on the backlog. So thank you all for coming again to this wonderful stream, and I hope to see some of you guys next week or possibly tomorrow when we return for Waterdeep Dragon Heist, when I was almost about to say Dragon Deep Water Heist, as I usually do at least once a week. So,
I mean, I'll be down for that.
Dragon Deep!
We going deep into some dragon.
Yeah.
I mean...
All right, so until next week, we will see you guys later. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.